Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and because Standard is awful, we're going back into some more Brawl. I honestly haven't played Standard once since this Brawl event came out, so forgive me if the channel's going to be a bit Brawl-centric, but honestly, the desire to play Standard right now is around about 0%. So I'm probably... I don't know. I'll probably force a Standard video out of me at some point, but until then, we're going to be playing some more Brawl because it's fun, and it's not going to be around forever. So, what are we going to be playing today is going to be one of my new favourite decks for the moment. It's actually a Royal Scions list, which perfectly plays around good old Oko the Broko, because it's a Planeswalker, and therefore it cannot be turned into a 3/3 Elk, which is great. We also do have answers in the main deck for Oko. We've got Tail's End, and we can also just like kind of slaying fire him and things like that, and just, I don't know, outgrind him anyway, but, you know, I'm probably just going to be auto-conceding to Oko until he gets banned anyway, because the format is just a lot more fun when he doesn't exist, so, you know. Anyway, let's move on to what our commander is. It's another 3 loyalty Planeswalker, but it's not broken, it's actually well designed. 3 mana for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker, you get to tick up, draw a card, then discard a card. Nothing inherently broken around this card, you actually build the deck around it to make that ability a little bit more powerful. So we have things like Improbable Alliance, which says whenever you draw your second card each turn, so the first card being your draw step, the second being Royal Scions ticking up, you actually make a 1/1 blue fairy token with flying. It also has a little bit of a piece of text there to make sure that the card does something without help. 6 mana to draw a card, then discard a card. So when things are going truly awful, you actually have a little panic button with this card, but 9 times out of 10, we're just going to be using it for the Royal Scions. There's also Fairy Vandal in here, which does exactly the same kind of thing, and Mad Ratter as well. Whenever you draw your second card, create 2 1/1 Black Rat creature tokens, which is really good at bogging up the board and making it pretty hard for your opponents to get combat damage through. What I will say about this deck is it actually doesn't have any standout win conditions. There's nothing that just wins the game on the spot, but there are a few cards in here that kind of, I don't know, outvalue your opponent. Things like Magic Mirror. I never thought I'd say this, but this card is pretty busted in our deck. 9 mana. However, you get to reduce the cost for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, which our deck is primarily. So, you know, oftentimes you can actually do 3 blue to get this thing down. It says you have no maximum hand size, which works quite well with the -8 on the Royal Scions, which says draw 4 cards and then deal damage to any target equal to the number of cards in your hand. So if the number of cards in our hand is greater than our opponent's life total, then we can just kill our opponent with that. But at the beginning of our upkeep, we put a knowledge counter on the Magic Mirror and then draw a card for each knowledge counter on the Magic Mirror. So eventually we just out-card advantage our opponent, you know, get to the point where we're drawing an entirely new hand with the Magic Mirror. I haven't decked myself with this card, but I have gotten pretty close. Most games with this one, when we're winning, come down to us having about maybe 15, 16 cards left in our deck, so we pretty much see everything along the way. We've got things like Ral, Is It Viceroy to fill up the graveyard, also another removal source based on instants and sorceries in our graveyard, so that is definitely a synergy. We definitely don't want to be seeing Ashiok on the other side, though I imagine we can deal with that quite easily anyway, just by, you know, making lots of tokens with Saheeli's and things like that, Mad Ratter as I mentioned. We've also got God Eternal Kefnet, which works pretty well in his spells deck. Reveal the first card you draw each turn, which can also include our opponent's turn. If we do something like Opt on their turn, it will trigger Kefnet, so we get to use the ability there. We get to copy instants and sorceries, which cost 2 less to cast, which is pretty sweet. Doing things like an Explosion with 2 cost reductions, really nice. And also getting to keep Explosion around is pretty sweet. Mystic Sanctuary into our mana base is very nice indeed. It comes into play untapped if you've got 3 or more other islands, and then you get to put whatever instant and sorcery you want on top of your deck. So that could be counter magic, could be your Explosion win con, things like that, which is pretty sweet. We're also running enough non-basics in here to justify running Field of the Dead, because pretty much every single deck can run Field of the Dead if you try hard enough. So we're going to be putting it in there. It allows us to, again, have another little win condition that can slowly grind our opponent out of the game. Fabled Passage, Cryptic Caves draws cards, you know, Scrylands, gain lands. There's plenty of non-basics in here, including like Castle Vantress to Scry, that we really just don't have too much of trouble to actually enable Field of the Dead at all. Other than that, though, it's kind of just like burn, card draw, things like that. So I won't really go into too much more of that. If you do enjoy these kind of videos, then let me know down in the comment section below, as well as hitting that like button and subscribing. Lets me know what kind of content you're interested in seeing. But without further ado, let's get into some gameplay, and I'll see you in the match. Alrighty then, we're in, and it's a little bit of an expensive hand in places, but I think we can work with this one. Ironcrag Pyromancer's not too bad. All we need is another land, but even then, we've got the Arcane Signet to kind of get us to Royal Scion mana, so yeah, I'm going to take this one. We're up against Niv Mizzet Reborn for our opponent, one of the more fun commanders, but, you know, I don't know. Does it build itself? I'm not sure. You know, you can mix and match all of your guild-based stuff, but yeah, this is kind of a control-style deck, which is a lot of fun. I do have one of my own, which actually Twitch chat built, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, maybe we'll play some Niv Mizzet in the future. Thought Erasure, you're no fun. Alright, well, I kind of want to keep my Arcane Signet around, so I'm not going to play Spectral Sailor, just in case they pick that instead. But I imagine they're going to take the Signet, right? Niv Mizzet, Payroon into the bin. Okay, I suppose it's a spells-based commander for our opponent, so 9 million turns from now it'd be a problem. Alright, well, get him for one. I think Niv Mizzet is probably the last card I would have picked in my hand, honestly. I don't know, maybe commence the endgame. Second only to that. But yeah, seriously, there's... I don't know. This isn't a problem. Unless they're planning on reanimating it. They could definitely do that, I think. I mean, there are cards that do it. Command the Dreadhorde, things like that, but not many, I guess. Alright, well. I think we're just going to go with the Royal Scions for now. Going to allow me to start discarding some of these spare lands. And really working through the deck. Alright, so dump an island, play a Terramander. The 1/1 army is assembling itself slowly but surely. Our opponent missing a fair few colours. Never mind, they've got them. Let's see if they can... Yep, alright, Niv Mizzet's coming down next turn, and there's not too much we can do about that, unfortunately. So, yeah, we gotta figure out an answer. We could do Ironcrag Pyromancer, which deals 3 damage, and then we use Lava Coil to finish it off. Niv Mizzet's one of those weird ones, though, where you really just don't want to let them play Niv Mizzet again. Yeah, I think you really need, like, an aggro start to beat Niv Mizzet, honestly. Beat them before they get to their Niv. It is a lot of value. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the Ironcrag Pyromancer here for the extra damage. So, draw a card, which triggers the Pyromancer. I do want my lands. I think I'm just going to get rid of Commence the Endgame. 3 to your face. Is it Guildgate tapped? Swing for 2. Yeah, I'd love something like Tail's End so that we could counter the Niv Mizzet or an Ionize. They've got the Enter the God Eternals. Ew. Alright. Castle Vantress, you say? Okay. So, I think we're just gonna empty our hand out here. Do a Drawn from Dreams, and then probably discard something with Royal Scions. And I think we want to kill this token, just so that we can get Royal Scions going. So, let's murder that. Play Castle Vantress, play Drawn from Dreams. Ooh. These aren't too bad. We've got Ral, which is pretty sweet. We've already made our land drop for the turn, and we got an extra draw, so I'm not really bothered about that. Maybe Improbable Alliance, just to go wide around Niv Mizzet might be the answer here. Possibly even Slaying Fire, because it's just good removal. I think I'll go with the Alliance, though. And we'll tick up, probably for damage, because I like my cards. On the Spectral Sailor, let's get on in. Brawl Scions is ready to draw me 4 cards, which should kill Niv Mizzet. So, do they tap out for card advantage? I mean, they've got a full grip, so unless that 5-card hand of theirs is garbage, I don't really see them doing this. Death Sprout, Growth Spiral, Deputy of Detention, Deafening Clarion. That's a big pile. So they've got Clarion, Death Sprout, Deputy, and Growth Spiral. Tap land for them. They could untap it so that they could Growth Spiral, but I guess they don't want to take 2 damage, which is perfectly acceptable. And dumps Death Sprout. Firemine's Research. Ooh boy. So there's no good way, I think, of getting Bacon Bolt to kill Niv Mizzet. We could do Ral, tick up, potentially put an instant in for 5 damage and then draw discard, but the fact that we got 2 enchantments in our hands kind of lends itself to being a bit of a problem. I definitely want to Terramander my creature out of Deafening Clarion range as well. Yeah, I think I maybe have to do... an ult on the Royal Scions. Back to the command zone. Draw 4 cards. Oh, Magic Mirror. Nice.
You will not like it.
So this is 7 damage. Yeah, I think we kill Niv Mizzet. If they spend the whole turn replaying it, we're fine with that. Don't tell me you got Dive Down. No, Dive Down's rotated. I don't know what you've got. I guess they're choosing Command Zone, probably. Bam. Alright. Playing Islands. We could do... that's not going to allow us to play Magic Mirror. And I want to play Magic Mirror. Yeah, I think we play Magic Mirror, Adapt Terramander, hit him for 6. What on earth have you got in your hand? 1 blue, 1 white? I really don't know. Unsummon. Rude. Rude. Alright, fine. Hit you for 1. Let the card draw begin. So, Magic Mirror draws us a card based on the number of knowledge counters, so we're going to be keeping up with our opponent in terms of card advantage. For sure. Get down like Firemine's Research and Improbable Alliance. Work Ral up as well to a nice number. Get Terramander to a 5/5. There's a lot of good stuff to happen here. We should easily be able to answer Deputy Detention on whatever it decides to target. And honestly, if they go Deputy on Magic Mirror, that kind of works out for us anyway, because we can play Improbable Alliance and Firemine's Research and things like that, and then kill it to bring it back so that we can use the extra draw for extra value there. So I guess Golos is going with Field of the Dead. Thankfully, most of my threats... Oh, never mind. I was going to say most of my threats are actually flyers, so the zombies aren't too much of a problem. Golos not pulling Field of the Dead is very weird. Gonna put it out there. They've still got Growth Spiral left to go here. D-Spark on Magic Mirror. That sucks. Oh, man. That sucks big time. Alright, so we do need to kill Golos, which is easy enough. We've got a Beacon Bolt and lots of stuff to discard and things like that to get this up to 5 points. So I think we're going to build up our Improbable Alliance. Let's see how we want to do this, because we've got 4 mana left over, so there's 2 mana left. So we could do Opt, Beacon Bolt, Firemine's Research. Fire Mines Research, which leaves us with 4 mana. Yeah, that's right. Maybe I want to get Terramander down, but doesn't put me in a good spot with Deafening Clarion because I can't adapt as well. I need to kill Golos, it's too much value. Yeah, this is okay. I was looking at Cryptic Caves and going, oh god, I've done the math wrong. Neheb to the bottom. It's not likely to do much here, unfortunately. And we're building up a good reason for our opponent to Clarion, which is great. Gonna dump the Steam Vents, since we've just got Mountain. We're not interested in Shocklands at this point. Golos is dead. Fire Mines Research is getting built up. Our opponent is going down to 15, and we've got ourselves a 1-1 engine going. We don't want to build it too much, because obviously Deputy of Detention is hanging around, but we do have answers to it with our Ral is at Viceroy regardless. And eventually Fire Mines Research will actually start dealing damage to any target, so they're going to fire off the Deafening Clarion now. I feel like that's a little bit premature, but I don't know. Depends on what else they've got in hand, I guess. If you got all the board wipes in the world, then sure, go for it. How many cards we got left? 32, and we don't know what's at the bottom. By the way, sick ass sleeves. Tell me more. Well, Extra Life, boys and girls. Good old Extra Life. And I'm a memer, what can I say? Right, okay. So, that wants to die, and we have answers to it. So, I think we want to just answer that right now with a Ral minus. So, let's get that done. Ral coming down. They do have mana here. They're going to go for Once Upon a Time. Okay. And it's land or creature. They've got Gilded Goose, which we don't care in the slightest about. So that's pretty good.
Over you like a dark cloud.
Question is, do I care about Deputy of Detention? Because I really don't know if I do. Do I just want to tick up instead? Or even go for Terramander Adapt? Terramander Adapt and then play Fairy Vandal? Yeah, I think I might be better doing that, because I can use Ral's Minus to get rid of Niv Mizzet. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy, yeah, let's go with the Planeswalker train. I should have mentioned that in the deck tech, but there's enough walkers in here to just overwhelm your opponent with constant value. So we've got 2 versions of Ral. We've got the Royal Scions. We definitely don't want to land. We've also got Saheeli in here as well, and you just add them all together and your opponent can't really decide which one they want to get rid of. So here comes Niv Mizzet, can fill up their hand, sure. They've got Banner, which is a weird choice. Guard Mage, Oko, great, everybody's favourite. Oath of Kyre and Time Wipe, sure. Oko the Broco, everyone's least favourite. I don't know why I went with a Bowie accent there, but, you know, I did. Oh, it's Oko! What are we going with here? We did not pick Oko, we picked Hydroid Crisis instead. Okay, well, the game just got a whole lot more fun, so that's good. Tap land for our opponent, I'm presuming? Angrath's Rampage. Alright. Rude, but okay. We'll get rid of Ralstorm Conduit. I think Izzet Viceroy is just a little bit more useful. And we bottomed a land, and we got a land. Good stuff. Okay. So we can minus on Niv Mizzet, which makes him cost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they can recast him whenever they want. I imagine they're not going to want to do that, though. I really needed something good, so maybe we can actually search for that. We can draw off of Cryptic Caves to get Improbable Alliance going. I think that's maybe what we want to do, something like that. Let's play, like, Fairy Vandal, draw a card, tick up Ral instead of ticking down. This doesn't count as drawing a card for the record. We are going to have to use, like, Cryptic Caves.
I just want to peek. The weight is
Ooh,
killing me.
Mystic Sanctuary can get me Drawn from Dreams or Commence the End Game. Some pretty good ones. Drawn from Dreams is a good one. But do I want Feel the Dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It does actually come online. But I think I do want Mystic Sanctuary. Let's just put a card on top. Let's get Drawn from Dreams. Just because it's superb card advantage. Then we can draw a card with Cryptic Caves, which triggers the Vandal and the Improbable Alliance to protect our Ral. And Drawn from Dreams allows me... Oh yeah, also Narset is a thing. Ooh. These are some good cards. These are some really good cards. I honestly don't know which one I want to pick. Could do Expansion Explosion for a lot of damage. Narset stops future Niv Mizzets. Actually, no, they don't draw a card, are they? Yeah, so Narset doesn't shut that down. Maybe Mad Ratter. I'm actually unsure as to which one we want to go with here. They're not likely to play anything that Expansion works on. I think maybe let's go wide. Let's go Mad Ratter. Maybe Ionize to stop them from board wiping us. And then let's do Terramander. And leave it at that. See where we can go from there. So we can chump block the Niv Mizzet with a fairy token. Or whatever now, because of Othakaya. Yeah, get rid of Fairy Vandal, sure. But we can do Mad Ratter, make 3 tokens, essentially. And we'll be doing that every turn. Even get Terramander up to a point where it's pretty powerful stuff. Drown in the Lock to kill a Terramander. Value. How many cards? We've got 24 left. Oh wow, they just got it all. Okay. Alright, well, goodbye, Ral. It was nice knowing you. Some cool runnings from our opponent, so kills Ral, hits us.
No amount of science is gonna fix this.
Mr. Crackles. It's a good one. Let's do Mad Ratter. So whenever we draw a card, we make 2 rats, as well as a fairy token, so we're kind of covered on all grounds there. Yeah, I think we kind of want to do Crackling Drake here. Works really well with the Royal Scions as well, giving First Strike and Trample on the attack. Ah, Brazen Borrow. It's a shame we have untapped mana here. Or tapped mana, should I say. Being able to bounce something would have been quite nice. Definitely don't want more mana. Need pure action from this point. But yeah, Royal Scions coming out next turn. Putting 3 power on board from the tick up every turn. Justice Strike. Alright. Top Deku. There's Elite Guard Mage. Who will deck themselves first? They're at 32 and we're at 22. So we are drawing better than a Niv Mizzet Reborn deck. That is saying something. And land in hand from one of those 3. That's good for us. Let's see what they want to do. They want to just hit us for 6. Yeah, I'm happy to chump that, I think. Let's buy ourselves some time until later. We definitely want to ionize something at some point. Bottom a mountain, gain a mountain. As you do. Alright, well. Yeah, let's go with the old Royal Scions. See if we can get rid of this mountain and not draw a mountain.
Steady your mind, Rowan.
And I will inspire their heart.
I will learn what
Tails
nobody yet knows.
End is decent, actually. That keeps Niv Mizzet off the board if we want to do something like Brazen Borrower. We've got 2 turns worth of counters to keep it out of play. We also probably want to ionize the Hydroid Krasis, if we're honest. I imagine they'll tap out completely to play that, something like that anyway. And at which point we can ionize and then Brazen Borrow and Niv Mizzet, and they'll be too tapped out to play anything. So yeah, let's just build up a board state, I think. Any board wipes I expect from them should also wipe their side. So we're pretty well insulated from our opponent playing good cards. There's Hydroid Krasis, so yeah, we're going to go and ionize that. They do draw 4 cards, but they're tapped out, so they can't use them. And we hit them for 2. We could actually Tails End the trigger there, but I think getting rid of Niv Mizzet's also something we want to do, just because it's extra pressure we can put on our opponent. I don't really want to 2-4 myself on Hydroid Krasis, even though we kind of are already in that position. But I think this is nice tempo just to get Niv Mizzet out of play. So, Brazen Borrower. Boing! With the Tails End ready to go when he comes back down next turn. And yeah, just chump. Keep the Royal Scions growing. If we can get that to draw 4 cards, that's going to be pretty sweet again. And Incubation Druid is the last card. Sweet. Alright. So I think on this turn we're going to go with the Castle Vantress, because we've been drawing garbage, let's be honest. We haven't been drawing very well for the past couple of turns, so I really want to make sure that we don't ever draw a land ever again. Ral's Outburst is a good one. Let's see, draw for the turn. We want to keep Tails End open, which means we've only really got 3 mana to work with here. So let's draw a card and discard a card, so we gain 2... Put that to the bottom, draw it again. That's 3 times I think we've bottomed a land and gained a land. Good stuff. Yeah, so we've basically got Brazen Borrower here plus Tails End. I think we might be all attacking. Our opponent can't kill Mad Ratter, so we just hit them for 4. We've got plenty of blockers back. Yeah, so they trade off 1 and then chump another. It's not much damage, but it's damage nonetheless. And we pass it up. Worst case scenario, we've got Ral's Outburst we can fire off, but I imagine... rude. Okay. No more rats for us. What's next? Do you play your Niv Mizzet again? If they don't, we've got the Ral's Outburst or the Brazen Borrower. There he goes. Into the trash with you. Please don't tell me you're running counter magic. They could. There are guild-based counter magic spells they could be using. We want to make sure that Niv Mizzet's not really viable mana-wise, and we're kind of getting there at this point, but you know, their mana's also growing at the same time, so it is what it is. So let's see if they go for any attacks. All attack at the Royal Scions. Okay. We get to triple block Deputy Detention. And Brazen Borrower block Elite Guard Mage, something like that. Keep Royal Scions ready to go. I think that's fine. Block, block, block. On you, block you, we get Firemind's Research back. And Royal Scion stays on 7, presumably. They've got 3 mana here. Really happy for Firemind's Research coming back, though. Chromatic Lantern, yeah, that's a bit late to matter. One mana left over. Gonna use it on a Gateway Plaza. Okay. Oh, come on! Please! I should have set an upkeep stop, but still, this is getting ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Right, so let's draw and discard. Okay. Do we kill the Incubation Druid? We might want to think about doing that. I'm not sure if I want to go with the Ral's Outburst before going with the Castle Vantress. I think I want to set up my next draw rather than the stuff that I'm going to hit on this, although... Yeah, it only really leaves me with 2 mana to work with, which Castle Vantress isn't really going to help me with, so I think maybe kill Incubation Druid so that we kill their mana a little bit. It's a 3-5 instead of a 0-2, so let's get rid of that. Build up our Firemind's Research. Thrill of Possibility is good, actually, because it allows us to trigger Improbable Alliance on our opponent's turn, as well as get rid of this Garbage Mountain. So hit them for 4. Yeah, we just pass. See what they do here. We're at 14 cards, they're at 24. We're still going to deck ourselves first. Here comes Niv Mizzet. Alright, let's see if we can... I don't even know if there is anything we can get here that changes this. I think I might just wait. Ass Trophy, 3 Fairy, all the fun stuff's in here. Casualties of War is disgustingly good value, unfortunately. Yeah. That's a problem. So they've got... Oh, Seraph of the Scales as well. Okay. Yeah, this might be one of those games where we deck ourselves, honestly. Thrill of Possibility. Let's discard this mountain. Trigger Firemind's Research. I want to get that up to, I think it's 5 counters. Yeah, 5 counters is a good place to be. More lands. Alright. I think we've got the mana to do that, right? No, we don't. We do have a Firemind's Research if we want it. As well as a Slaying Fire to deal 4 damage to our opponent's face. I do want an upkeep stop here, I think. I think I want to keep as many cards in my hand as possible, because then we can do Royal Scions. Oh yeah, we might be able to win here. Draw a card. If we draw Expansion Explosion, more lands, great. More lands, great. Yeah, if we'd have drawn Expansion Explosion there, we'd have drawn 1, 2, 5, 6. 6 cards, so up to 10, draw 4 up to 14. We'd have been a little bit short, but we would be on the verge of killing our opponent with a Slaying Fire, as well as combat damage from all of our tokens. Is that still a viable option for us? Possibly. Let's draw 4 cards. Command Zone, please. No. No Expansion Explosion for us. And we can hit our opponent. I think we're going for face, right? At this point. Our opponent down to 8, 7, 6, 2. Actually, we've got lethal, right? This is lethal. Yeah. Yeah, we got lethal. Alright. All attack. Opponent blocks. They're all tapped out except for this 1 mana play here on the Chromatic Lantern. So chump, chump, chump. Take 4. And then hit you in the face for 4 with Adamant. Is that going to be... yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Alrighty then. Oh, outvalued the Niv Mizzet Reborn deck. This is why I love this deck. Because it just draws so many cards. And you get so much value. It's probably why I love, like, singleton Brawl kind of decks in general. Because, like, card draw just seems to be I don't know, it's either card draw or ramp seems to be like the dominant things, and they're really fun. You know, where you get up to the big things really quickly, or you just draw loads of cards, so your entire turn is just jam-packed full of options, instead of being on, like, top decks, which, you know, is not a necessarily fun place to be, but, yeah, this deck's sweet. I love it. Would have been a shame if we didn't draw the expansion explosion. We did bottom it earlier, I think, didn't we? Something like that. Maybe it was in my graveyard. I'm not quite sure, but, you know. Anyway, let's go for one more game, I guess. Alrighty then, we're in, and we are up against Torbran, Thane of Fel, for red mana basically, for a 2/4 that says if a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, deals that much damage, +2 instead. Pretty solid commander, honestly. It's probably one of the competitive ones. And this hand doesn't really deal with it, so I think this is probably one of those free mulligan ones. We could do, like, Fairy Vandal and get it up quite large, but there's no doubt that they've got, like, shocks and things like that all ready to go. So, yeah, free mulligan. Let's take it. Flame Sweep. Not too bad. I think I'll take this hand. It's not great, but as far as free mulligans go, I'm glad that I took it. And definitely don't need to go down to 6. Alright, so let's just go with a mountain. And there you go. We're up against Yargle. How could somebody with a wonderful name like Yargle, who's prepared to bargle, pick Torbran? How far can one fall? Alright, Firemind's Research, go. So, Firemind's Research, every instant or sorcery we cast puts a counter on this. If we get to 5, we get to deal 5 damage to any target, which is pretty sweet. Or we can just use the 2 charge counters to actually draw cards, which is also very nice. I'm going to go with a Narset, I think. Although there is an argument for Royal Scions, just so we can get rid of all of these lands. But I think I need to find answers to Torbran and other stuff like that. Crystal Slipper. Basically the Swift Foot Boots of Brawl.
Keep an open mind.
Magic Mirror. Ugh. I want all of these. This is a bit early, though. When we get it back in the late game, which we will. This deck will go through itself pretty easily. I'm going to take Bacon Ball, although of course it hasn't been enabled. We'll get there though. Using other removal spells along the way and cantrips and things like that, we should be able to get a Bacon Bolt to kill pretty much anything our opponent can play. I would have also... Immolation Shaman. Opponent has no respect. Alright, well. Our opponent doesn't really draw cards, so they can hit Narset, I guess, which locks her out of being useful. She's replaced herself, so it is what it is. So what do you do again? You do something that's not that good. Activates an ability of an artifact, creature, or land that isn't a mana ability. Okay. Artifact, creature, or land that isn't a mana ability. So we're just going to go with Opt. Slaying Fire, good removal. We're going to take that. I think we maybe want to... We might want to thin with Fabled Passage. We did bottom a Kefnet earlier, which we don't know the order of, but it's actually a really good card for this matchup. So I think I want to shuffle that right on back in. There were some good options in those cards we saw on Narset anyway, so... Ah, damn, they got me. They got me. Right, so Slaying Fire needs a 3rd red. We've only got 2 red here, so I'm just going to go get another mountain. And probably play the Royal Scions. Do I want to play the Royal Scions? Yeah, I think I do. Just get it out there. Start digging through the deck. We've got an excess of lands here, so... Dump this Guildgate. Mad Ratter is pretty good. That's just going to stop our opponent from pushing through, unless they've got Flame Sweeps of their own, which is perfectly reasonable, I suppose. But Torbran here is going to be able to deal 4 damage off this Immolation Shaman. If that's the path they choose to take. I think Thrill of Possibility is the only card, really, that our opponent can play that Narset still shuts off. But it's a fun one if they forget about it. 'Cause no doubt they don't care about Narset, right? You care about Narset? Why?
Still have much to learn.
Card advantage in red, for the record, is not card draw based. Very much so. So I'm a bit confused on that plan. I'm wondering whether or not I want to Slaying Fire the Torbran, or if I just want a Mad Ratter. I think Mad Ratter's maybe better, because it just uses removal on Mad Ratter and leaves 2 blockers back for these 2 in case they have the removal. So I think it's probably a little bit better. Slaying Fire doesn't leave me with many options. So yeah, let's just draw and discard. Ral's Outburst is pretty nice. Gets rid of Immolation Shaman. Yeah, we'll just get rid of a mountain here. Make some rat tokens. Play a mountain. Pass the turn. I'm hoping to clog up the board, or at least that's the plan. But I have zero doubt that Mad Ratter lives through this town. Through this turn. Experimental Frenzy. Not card draw. It is very annoying though. That might lose us the game, as Experimental Frenzy in Standard is known to do. Alright, so chomp and chomp. This is a turn where we want to kill Torbran though, because Experimental Frenzy can reveal all kinds of hell from the top of their deck, so we definitely don't want that raining down upon us. And Flame Sweep's just not really going to cover it. It might cover some like mass cavalcading kind of frenzying from our opponent. And yeah, Ral's Outburst 1 point short, unfortunately, because this is only you control, so it's not synchronous or anything like that. Let's draw and discard.
I enjoy the proper application of knowledge.
Land drop, you say? I need that land drop, but I also don't. I think I want all my removal is the thing, and this hand is just jam-packed full of it, so I think I'm going to get rid of the islands. Get rid of Torbran so the frenzy isn't as scary. And then we can use Firemind's Research to draw and maybe find our land drop. Maybe I could have done it in the other order, potentially, in case this draws me some garbage. Yeah, I would have probably dropped the Sailor if I'm being completely honest. Let's go with Mad Ratter in there. Need to pressure our opponent eventually. I don't expect Royal Scions to have the ability to ult next turn. But these cards right here are completely dead, so they're running off the top of their deck. Ooh, it gets +3/+3 and Menace. Okay, so I just double block with my rats, is what you're telling me. Interesting. You know I make 2 of them a turn, right? It's like I was just making 1 anyway. No trample for you. Yeah, maybe Frenzy's not going to help them out. Maybe not. Okay, so let's tick up Royal Scions. Draw, discard. Electrostatic Field is a nice one. Let's get rid of Spectral Sailor. As I mentioned, I don't think it's particularly good in this matchup. However, Electrostatic Field is pretty sick. Nice blocker. And maybe we do something like... We're 1 point short on the Bacon Bolt. So I'm thinking maybe Anticipate to get it there. Could do that next turn though, no problems. So it's swinging for 1. And our opponent has had enough. Yeah, I think they're just getting outvalued here. Next turn we draw 4 cards and we've got the ability to kill anything. Bacon Bolt will get Torbran if they want to play Torbran, which takes their entire turn again. I actually think, as scary as Experimental Frenzy looked there, I actually think it might have just locked them out of the game completely. I think these cards were probably better. This is premature for sure. Yeah, it's a thing, alright. It is a thing. Well, I guess maybe we've got time for 1 more game, so let's do it. Let's do it. Alright, we're in, and I think we might be in a bit of trouble. Our opponent's playing Niv Mizzet Peyrune, which draws them cards and deals us damage whenever we play instants and sorceries in our spell deck. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. That being said, we do have a Narset, so I'm all for taking this hand. Mystic Sanctuary not so much, but I'm going to take this one. So, yeah, our opponent is going to be trying to play as many instants and sorceries as possible to draw many cards as possible. And I guess it's up to us to keep our Narset around, and for that reason I might not even bother taking her down at any point, just to keep her on 5 loyalty. That might be the plan. I don't really want to put her into 3 damage burn range, essentially. We don't really have anything to do anytime soon, so I might actually just drop down the Mystic Sanctuary. I don't expect that to get us any value by the time we're forced into playing it as our land drop for the turn, so let's just get it down now and solve that problem before it begins. I also draw on Neheb, Dreadhorde Champion, for additional card draw. Pretty sweet as a 5/4 with Trample. Should be able to push through what our opponent's doing, right? I don't know. We'll see. I imagine that they're going to be trying to play a bit of a control deck rather than a spells deck, if I had to guess, so we'll have to see. Let's go with an old command tower and leave our Brazen Borrower up, should we need it. It's going to be an awkward time for all involved, for sure. 3 mana, and this is the turn where I really want them to tap out. Good stuff. Alright. And they want to draw a card. This might be where I actually just bounce the Izzet Locket for tempo. I think that's probably a good idea. So bounce Izzet Locket. If they want that extra mana, they're going to have to replay it and do nothing on their next turn. And we're going to put them in a situation where doing nothing's not a really good idea at all. Narset, you can't draw additional cards.
I train every day. No one is more prepared.
I think I'm leaving her on 5. Might be incorrect, not entirely sure, but I think shutting our opponent off of additional card draw is a really good idea. And forcing them to deal 5 damage to Narset instead of 3 is definitely going to be useful for me. Alright, so our opponent gets the Locket down and a Mantle, which does nothing, essentially. Alright. Yeah, I might go for the Neheb. Or it could be even Rowlstorm Conduit. I could get Ral down next turn since I'm not going to be doing anything on 5 realistically, though the Scry could be useful. I think the Neheb, though, gain mana and get rid of some of these less interesting cards is probably what I want to do. So, a must-answer threat, as it were. Opponent could have Niv Mizzet coming down, I suppose, who is a 5/5, but it's not going to be too bad for us. I just need to be able to block Niv Mizzet. Alright, Chandra, maybe for a land drop on the tick up here?
No problem.
Nope. Alright, good stuff. So, the problem is, now that they've got Chandra, it means they've got an answer to Narset if I ever allow them to lose loyalty on Chandra. Which is not a good spot. And this is exile, not draw, so Narset doesn't shut it off. I think I'm just going to have to let them go for the Narset ult, ultimately. Let's see. Let's go for Neheb Face. And get rid of some of these less interesting cards. So let's draw 3 cards, I guess, with Spectral Sailor, Cryptic Caves, Island. I like Commence the Endgame. We could even cast it, potentially. Turn after next, after a Rowlstorm Conduit, something like that, which we can play. Ooh, Field of the Dead. Very nice. These are some good cards. Yeah, I think we play Rowlstorm Conduit. Use Ral to start scrying. So we've got good cards. Flame Sweep looks really bad. We need an answer to Niv Mizzet primarily. I guess we go Improbable Alliance. And play Field of the Dead? Ooh. I don't know if I just want more cards in hand is the thing. I think I want more mana though because of the Ral minus being potentially useful here. We'll just pass. So, Field of the Dead, pretty easy to enable in a singleton format. So, it's one of those where there's not really much reason not to run it. Exiles for a land drop, so they've got their Niv Mizzet online now. there's Niv Mizzet. And... Ugh. Yeah. Bad cards all around. I think maybe we go for like a commence the end game. So now that Narset is essentially dead, I'm going to minus Narset for an extra card in hand.
I have just the trick for this.
And an opt, you say. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's an opt. And then we do Mountain. Tick down Ral. So that we can copy commence the end game. And make a thick, tasty beast. We get to deal some damage. I guess it's face. I want to focus on face, because that's the place. Yeah. So they draw one card for the turn, because obviously they haven't drawn one this turn, but every other one after that is negated by Narset, at least until the next turn.
I must stay focused.
So, yep, just ping and ping and ping. So we make a 4-4, and then we make it into a 10-10. That our opponent should have some trouble dealing with, and I'm just going to send this at our opponent's face, which will give me something better than lands to work with next turn. Alright, they let it through. So we're going to go Island, Fabled Passage, Mountain. I think the opt as well is probably not that great. I'd rather just draw some extra cards here. I really do like Drawn from Dreams, and Anticipate's also very useful. So yeah, I think I'm just going to discard 4, draw 4. Tail's End. Alright, well, Thrill of Possibility, dump a Mountain, draw 2 more cards. Let's deal 1 damage there. They don't draw anything because of Narset. And that's going to be our turn. So, they can deal 1 damage, so it means that they can get rid of our Fairy if they want to. I think Narset's on... she's on 2. So yeah, they want to go for Fairy, attack, and then start doing Niv Mizzet things. I need to be able to bounce Niv Mizzets at least so I can Tails End it. But I think with a 10-10 in play, I'm in a pretty good spot. 3 mana Chandra. Can cast an opt out of the graveyard or make elementals. Either one of those is an option. It's not going to trigger Niv Mizzet though. So they need to go to combat first. Okay.
Anyone need a match? No.
Do you dare attack me with my 10-10 in play? Which can actually get a +2/+0 and First Strike and Trample from the Royal Scions. So that's why I went for this big amass token, for the record.
Don't worry. I brought company.
I'm pretty sure they're very dead. If they do any kind of meaningful attack here. Especially since they might be forced into chump blocking with Niv Mizzet, and then I've just got the Tails End for it on the back end. So, they're making sure that Narset is dead. Which is obviously a good game plan. We want to dodge bounce effects on our token for sure.
I remember.
Train harder.
Pain hurts.
Okay. Double Drawn from Dreams on a Ral minus is nice. Kazmina. I believe that means they're dead.
Every day is a new lesson.
I think they've killed themselves. They get to attach Mantle because they drew an additional card. And then they get to ping. But I don't care if they ping Ral because him dying is not the point.
Nothing feels broken.
Alright, yeah, we win. Okay, so easy enough. Let's Ral Storm Conduit so we get to copy things. You get to Slaying Fire with Adamant. 4 there. And then 4 to our opponent's face. And then we swing for 15. Ping, you say? Alright. Yep. To you. And let's go. All in. Boop. So ignoring Chandra, mostly ignoring Niv Mizzet. Narset did a fair bit of work there, just distracting our opponent mostly. But yeah, it was definitely the Ral after all that won us that game. Having a 10-10 is a bit foul, honestly. So I was happy with that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Lots of fun games. Went completely... Oh my god, I actually did not get gems for a rare. Yeah, went completely undefeated. A lot of just auto scoops though from today. I think we went 5-0 today, something like that. Yeah, 5-0, something. So, not too bad. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This deck is a lot of fun to pilot, so I do highly recommend this one if you want a bit of a different thing from the norm. It takes on all of the meta decks quite nicely. Oko's not too broco against the Royal Scions, but I still auto-scoop to it anyway, because I like to have fun. Never got a chance to show you guys the Magic Mirror as such, because it got desparked too quickly, but this thing is busted. It's probably the only format where Magic Mirror will see a lot of play. I imagine you deck yourself more than anything in like limited formats where this is available, but yeah, I absolutely love this deck. This is probably my primary deck for now. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you did for some more Brawl content in the future. I'm going to try and do a little bit of Standard at some point, but honestly, I'm just making the most of Brawl at the moment because it's actually better than Standard. So, you know, hope you guys agree with me on that one, but, you know, until next time, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.